We all know in this generation there's lots of competition in each and every field.
Exactly what kind of atmosphere should prevail in our household, which will be conducive to producing the best performance from the part of the student.
Our parents are the one who guides us. But what if I say parents need guidance too?
Winners don't do different things, they do things differently. We become parents without realizing what is parenting.
We all know in this generation there's lots of competition in each and every field. And everyone wants perfection and want a good success. But when it comes to guidance, our parents are the one who guides us. But what if I say parents need guidance too? Today's video is all about guiding parents. So today with us we have Professor Zakatdar sir, who has 40 years of experience in teaching mathematics, and he has guided many students regarding studies and time management. And he also owns his own foundation, which is Spurti Foundation. So sir, my question to you is, these 2 years are very crucial for students and parents too, 11th and 12th standard. And they face lots of pressure and anxiety during whole that period. So what tips you'd like to give, like how they can control, how they can maintain proper guidance?
Today I've decided that I'm going to talk about parenting rather than the talks will be directed to the parents and not to the students. Okay.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, we have seen a lot of mishaps happening because of the parental pressures and anxiety and all that. So you have to avoid it. How can you avoid it, and what kind of atmosphere should prevail in our household, which will be conducive to producing the best performance from the part of the student, right?
Yes.
So what kind of atmosphere should prevail in the home, right? Now, I have interacted with many students and I have heard many complaints about the parents,
Yes.
And it is not that they don't love their parents, but they do have certain misgivings about the parent. For example, their common concerns are comparison to others, compared to other people, then reminding them of their past failures, and always question the kind of future which is ahead of them, and make certain remarks, very bad remarks about their future, past as well as present, right? All of this comes out of the care for the child, but we do not understand the words are not like that. The words are very harsh, and the way they express their concern sometimes is not handled properly by the students themselves. So I want the parents to be very, very cautious during these 2 years. Why? Because these 2 years, as she has already said, that they are critical in deciding the career of the child. In these 2 years, he is going to find out who is he going to be, engineer, doctor, whatever, right? So these 2 years performance will decide the entire future of the child. Therefore, you have to be very, very cautious and well prepared. Now, if I ask my any parent, do you want your child to be successful or not? Everybody says, of course. What do you say, sir? My child has to be successful. Then I ask them the question, what is the definition of success? What is the definition of success? Definition of success means what? If he has achieved certain things, then he is successful. If he is not achieving anything, that means he is not successful. But then your 12th standard student has just started his career. There is no question of achieving anything, right? He is at the start of his career. How would you say that he is successful or not? Whether he will be successful or not? To that they don't have any answer. So how do you know whether your child is going to be successful or not? Right? Yes. The question is not what happens after, but what happens much before anything happens. Yes. Correct? So they don't have a definition of success at all. And even I was thinking a definition of how do I decide whether my child is going to be successful or not, right? And I remember one day I was walking on the streets of Marine Drive, and on the footpath there were a lot of stalls, the old books used to be literally scattered along the footpath. And I was like, they were like, pilgrimage for me, pilgrimage centers. So I used to go through those books, and suddenly I found out my definition right there on the book. The book was turned upside down, and on the blurb of the book said something which was the definition that I'm looking for. I realized that the book belongs to or written by Mr. Shiv Khera, you know,
Okay.
and the name of the book is also very famous, You Can Win, right?
Oh.
And what he says is a definition of winner. He says, winners don't do different things. Winners don't do different things. They do things differently.
Differently, right.
In other words, your child or every child in 11th and 12th standard right now all over India will do practically everything same.
Yes.
All of them will join coaching
They'll try
classes.
to copy. Yes.
No, all of them will join coaching classes. All of them will join colleges. All of them will write tests. All of them will attend lectures. All of them will appear for the exam. There is nothing different that anybody is going to do. Everybody is facing the same kind of future, same kind of environment. But who will be the winner? The one who uses this environment in a different way, than the normal. You will say, my child also goes to coaching class, he attends lectures, वो ये करता है, वो करता है, सब कुछ तो वही करता है जो ये लोग करते हैं. ये डिफरेंट क्या होता है? लेक्चर कैसे डिफरेंटली अटेंड किया जा सकता है? टेस्ट कैसे डिफरेंटली दिया जा सकता है? What do you mean by that? So this is the exact, what is the difference between a winner and a loser, right?
Yes.
So both are doing the same thing, but you want your child to be winner, you should be prepared that he should do or he should face all this environment in a different manner altogether.
Yes.
Correct? And that difference can be brought on by the parents. And parents can be tactfully doing this.
Yes.
For example, I'll show you. I'll tell you one thing. Exactly what is the method of acquiring knowledge in today's educational system? There's only one method. You attend to a lecture. There is somebody who is talking all the time and you are listening, right? Now I'm a lecturer all the time. So I'm giving a lecture to all the 60 students in the same way, same words. Everybody catches the same
similar,
thing.
yes.
Environment is same. But there are some students who absorb it completely. Some students absorb slightly. Some students just ignore it completely, right? So everybody, I call it an absorption quotient. So everybody's absorption quotient is different.
Yes.
Right? Now, why the absorption quotient is different? What is the reason? I'm giving the same lecture, but some students find it very beautiful and some people find it boring, right?
Yes.
So, why this? I mean, these are the reasons why my lecture doesn't succeed for them,
Right.
So, I was looking at these kind of the reasons for lowering of the absorption quotient.
Okay.
What is it? I have no knowledge about psychology. I'm not a psychology student. So I started going back to my student days because I was also a student.
Yes.
I was also a teenager.
At some age, yes.
I was also a teenager and I was also a very arrogant teenager once upon a time. So I should go back to those days and find out what is going on in my mind. So I remember I was born and brought up in a very small village. I got my education in a vernacular medium, English Marathi medium school. Up to in our times, it was 11th standard metric. So I studied there. Then I migrated to a village, a district place. So I thought the teachers here and their English and the pronunciation and the depth of knowledge will be much better than the kind of teachers that I am having right now. So I attended my first lecture with a lot of expectations from the professors. So there was one professor who stood out and he said, I'm going to teach you electricity and magnetism, right? And he started his lecture in this sentence. Let there be a coin. Coin manje na. The moment he said this, my teenager antenna, got up. Arey, this fellow can't speak proper Marathi, can't speak English. ये क्या physics पढ़ाएगा मेरे को, right? And then I decided I'm not going to listen to him at all. What did I do then? I joined the group of BBC. BBC मतलब Backbenchers Club. So, and then we started having a lot of gossips and a lot of discussions. In fact, we used to have a contest. This particular teacher used to say one particular word again and again. So we used to count its frequency. And if the frequency of the other student in my matches, that means we'll give a party.
Yes.
So this kind of game we played. For 6 months it went on. And after the 6 months, there was a terminal examination. of physics. Naturally, I failed in the terminal examination. But a friend of mine got 100 and 100 marks out of 100.
So,
So I was surprised. I asked him,
okay.
"ए, तेरे को कैसे रे 100 मार्क्स मिलते हैं और मेरे को कुछ नहीं मिलता है?" His answer was like a burning oil pour into my ears. What he said? He said, वो टीचर है ना जिसको तू बोलता है मराठी नहीं आता है, उसको अंग्रेजी नहीं आता है, हाँ, तो मालूम है उसको फिजिक्स आता है. Yeah. What was your question?
So, sir, our topic is parenting, right? So, what do you feel? What is parenting? Actually, what is parenting? Like,
oh, what a fantastic question. Okay, I'll give you right answer to this. What is parenting? We become parents without realizing what is parenting. एक सुबह मेरे को पता चलता है मैं बाप बन गया. बाप बनने की कोई मेरे पास कोई क्वालिफिकेशन है क्या? नहीं है. You know, अगर tomorrow अगर government of India passes a resolution that in order to become a parent you should take a 3 years diploma in parenting, so nobody will pass. But everybody is a parent already, right? So we don't have a qualification to become a parent, but we still become parent, right? So they don't even ask a question, what is parenting?
right.
What is parenting? Parenting is first of all
Guiding a
the
student.
noblest task God has thrust upon us. Noblest, very noble. Means what? What is the parenting? Parenting means creating a child who takes responsibility for everything that happens around him and does not blame the circumstances.
Okay. Yes.
Creating a sovereign human being, right? Self-sufficient human being who depends only on himself. If there are mistakes, he owns it. If there are good things, he says others have done it. And if there are difficulties, he doesn't blame the environment, he blames himself.
Right.
Correct? That kind of human beings, if you are ready to produce, then to nurture, then you are doing a correct parenting. Parenting means creating a human being who takes responsibilities and does not play a role of a victim.
So, sir, what kind of support should parent give to that student?
Exactly. When you are creating a sovereign human being, you have to believe that he has got all the powers that any normal human being has. You have to believe that he is intelligent. Really, from the bottom of your heart. You have to believe that he is capable. You have to believe that he is capable of studying. You have to believe in his abilities of studying, taking a decision on his own part, analyzing the situation and arriving at a proper decision. He has got a proper methodology of asking questions and finding out answers. You have to believe, and that belief should come through your conversation with him.
Yes.
That doesn't happen. Most of the time, तेरे को क्या मालूम है यार, तू कैसे करेगा? Last time तो ऐसा हो गया. मैं मेरे child को अभी नहीं बोलेगा. मैं बोलेगा ठीक है. Last time ऐसा हुआ, लेकिन you have to find what was wrong, and you have to correct that mistake. I'm not going to tell you what is the mistake. You find out the mistake and you correct it yourself. Now, for example, the child comes home and says, "मम्मी मेरे को कुछ नहीं समझता है." वो टीचर ना उसका pronunciation नहीं आता है, right? उसको कुछ नहीं आता है. तो what the parents do normally? अच्छा ऐसा है क्या? They will go to the coaching class or the वो सर बेकार है उनको कुछ पर. Children खुश हो जाते हैं. साला ये तो की चल गया. फिर इसके बाद हाँ, they'll keep on complaining and parents will accept and they'll. So, I mean, many times I ask them a question. Students को मैं question पूछता हूँ. What is the definition of a good teacher? तो उनके पास एक बड़ा याद ही रहता है, लिस्ट रहता है. वो गुड लुकिंग होना चाहिए, उसका ये दिखना अच्छा होना चाहिए, डिक्शन अच्छा होना चाहिए, प्रोनाउंसिएशन अच्छा होना चाहिए, ये अच्छा होना चाहिए, वो अच्छा होना चाहिए, उसका नॉलेज अच्छा होना चाहिए. बट व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ अ गुड स्टूडेंट? इफ आई आस्क देम, they don't know. They never thought. I will tell you definition of a good student. Definition of a good student is the one who gains knowledge or literally extracts knowledge out of the worst kind of teacher.
Right.
That is the definition of a good student. So as a parent, I will give him this definition. I said there is nothing wrong, because if you are blaming someone else for your lack of knowledge, you are not going to be intelligent at all. Why? Because you are habituated to give certain reasons. Right? There are two kinds of people in this earth. Who produce results and the one who produce reasons.
Okay.
If you are creating a child who is producing reasons for his failure, that is a parenting failure, not his failure, right? So do not allow him to give any reasons for his lack of performance. You have to concentrate on his results. Ask him why you are not producing results. If the teacher is bad anyway, was accepted that teacher is bad. But in your class, there is a student who has got 40 out of 40 marks in the examination. If he can understand his lectures, then anybody can understand.
Right.
So you have to elevate your level to that particular student rather than blaming the teacher. You have to make a change in yourself. You cannot change the environment. You can only change yourself.
Right.
You cannot change the teacher, the way he teaches, nothing. See, environment is not in your hand, right? You can either play a victim of environment or you decide to act on the environment, right? So a child should be encouraged to think on his own. Whenever he complains about other things, discourage him from complaining. And if he is in a difficulty, actively, proactively help him in solving his difficulty. For example, I'll give you another example. There was a child, I was sitting in a staff room and there was one parent, very well educated parent. He was in fact himself an IITian. So he came and he asked me, sir, आपको लड़का है, मेरा लड़का, तुमको लगता है ये लड़का मेरा IIT में जाएगा? The way he was asking this question, I was clear that he is convinced that he is not going to go, right? Yes. So I asked him, do you talk like this to him all the time? So he was on the guard. No. But it is very clear that you believe that he will not go. कैसे जाएगा बोलते? क्यों, क्या हुआ? So see, I saw his marks in the test. Out of 40, he got only 10 marks. IIT में जाने के लिए you have to be in the first 2%. हाँ, ये 10 marks वाला लड़का कैसे आगे जाएगा? तो मैं बोला हाँ ये बात बराबर है, लेकिन he is one of the student who has got double figure marks, whereas rest of them have got single figure. Okay. But there is a student who has got 30 marks. I said yes, but problem is not that how he got 10 marks, right? So if you start finding out, suppose there is a car going from Bombay to Pune, right? Bombay to Pune, तुमने पेट्रोल भर दिया, सब कुछ किया, लेकिन वो कार बीच में बंद पड़ गई. तुम ऐसा बोलते हो क्या? What kind of car is this? It is not capable of going into Pune at all. I am such a मेरा लक इतना बैड है कि साला ऐसा कार मेरे पास आ गया. क्यों? क्या? और तुम बहुत चिल्लाओगे, कार चलने लगेगा? नहीं, क्योंकि fault is mechanical, answer is psychological, emotional, right? Yes. This is exactly what is happening. If your child is getting 10 marks out of 40, your job will be why he has lost the 30 marks. Right. Find out reasons behind losing 30 marks. Now, reasons could be many. He may not have understood the topic. He has understood the topic but did not remember proper formula. Yes. So, there could be many reasons. And once you find the reasons, try to alleviate those reasons. Try to nullify those reasons and act on each reason. Suppose you have not understood the subject, that part only. Ask him, give him the textbook, ask him to read it first. फिर भी वो बोलता है नहीं समझता है. Take him to the teacher, right? Tell him that he has not understood this topic. Can you explain? अगर नहीं समझता है, दूसरे टीचर के पास जाओ. लेकिन जब तक उसको वो समझ में नहीं आता है, your role as a parent is not over. Correct? So your job is what? If he has made certain mistakes, he will not repeat those mistakes. You have to ensure. That is called parenting. Not blaming him for his lack of knowledge or giving some emotional responses and creating a fear of future. तू क्या करेगा? ऐसे जाएगा? अपने पास इतना ही पैसा है, फिर तू क्या करेगा? मेरे पास ये. All these nonsense has to be cut off completely. This is a noise. It is not making any sense at all. If you are a parent, then you have to be a very proactive parent. Get into his mind. Find out what is wrong. And whatever is wrong, be sympathetic about it. And out of the belief that he is capable of everything, you are just telling him that you are capable, I know. If you don't understand, these are the ways of knowing everything, right? Have you gone through these steps? So give him. पहले पढ़ो, नहीं समझा, टीचर के पास जाओ. टीचर के पास नहीं समझा, दूसरे टीचर के पास जाओ. तीसरे टीचर्स के जब तक समझ में नहीं आता है छोड़ो मत. एंड इफ ही इज लिविंग इन द मिडल वे यू हैव टू लीड हिम. नो ऐसा नहीं, चलो करो, राइट. सो दिस इज हाउ. सो पेरेंटिंग, आई विल गिव वन वेरी सिंपल टिप. आई कॉल इट RRP.
ओके.
मतलब क्या कि every student attends a lecture. Every student attends a lecture. Now, if he has to understand maximum take the maximum benefit of lecturing, he has to undergo three things. Number one, he has to be very attentive during the lecture, try to understand at least everything during the lecture.
Yes.
And the moment he goes home, he has to solve all the problems that the teacher has solved in the class on his own. Until he could not solve, because if he cannot solve, the solution is available. He'll read that solution, but he has to ensure that every problem that taught in the class itself, I can solve at any point of time. Right? Number one. Second phase is what? The teacher has given some homework. That homework has to be done immediately on that day. In other words, the first exercise is to find out whether you understood or not. Yes. Right? Second exercise is, if you think you understood, practice it. And find out whether you understood or not. Correct? And if there are any doubts, immediately put it, next lecture I'm going to ask these questions. Okay?
Yes.
Right? And the third thing is, he prepares for the next lecture. कल का लेक्चर किसका है, क्या पढ़ने वाला है, कौन सा टॉपिक चालू है, लास्ट टाइम उन्होंने क्या पढ़ाया था, नेक्स्ट टाइम ये क्या पढ़ाएगा. राइट? या लेट मी रीड इट, आई विल अंडरस्टैंड समथिंग, आई विल नॉट अंडरस्टैंड. जो मैं नहीं समझता हूँ, आई विल मेक अ क्वेश्चन आउट ऑफ इट. इन अदर वर्ड्स, not the teacher, the student should be prepared to undergo the lecture. Right. You know, so RRP, pahila read whatever sir has given, read. Second R for revision, right? Revise means homework, and P for preparation for the next lecture. So before he goes to sleep, just ask him these three questions. Baba, have you done all the problems solved by the teacher on your own? Number one. Have you solved all the homework problems? Yes. Number three. Do you know whose lecture is there tomorrow? This part is always missing, right? Whose lecture is there? What topic is going to be taught? Yes. And do you remember the formula that he has introduced in the last lectures? Do you know anything? नहीं, सोने का नहीं. चुपचाप ये तीनों चीजें करो, बाद में सोने को दूंगा, नहीं तो नहीं.
Yes.
You understand? This is what the parent should do. A proactive parent has to do this.
Right.
That's all.
So, sir, I think this video will really help all the parents.
Yeah.
So, if you like this video, share this video with your friends and family. Thank you.